Hey everyone, I have a plant here that I'm excited to show off. It is called a Pellionia repens. It's a very cool trailing houseplant that cascades out of its pots with these really nice dark variegated leaves, almost like this black color. Really interesting. You don't see that color very often, so it's a cool plant to grow in your house. And because it has this kind of vining aspect, it's actually a really easy one to propagate. And so what I first did when I got this plant is it had a very long kind of structure. It was overgrown, wasn't looking too good. A lot of the only leaves at the very tips. So I trimmed off all those branches and I put them in water to do a water propagation. Now, I have a lot of people coming into the store and coming in and talking to me about propagating plants because it's a really interesting topic and we all want more of our cool plants. So they ask for tips and tricks and how to actually propagate properly. And it comes down to a lot of different factors, including what kind of plant it has and how it actually grows. But for these vining plants, it's really easy, and something I always recommend is the Tappin'Roots All Stages. It's a really cool plant fertilizer that honestly doesn't have a lot of nutrients in it. It's a really low nutrient content, but it has willow bark inside of it. And so the willow bark extract that's inside of this actually helps promote root growth. It gets all those small root hairs, the capillary root system within the roots, to really start growing and going into the soil or into the water and being able, allowing the plant to really uptake a lot of nutrients and all the kind of good stuff to help it get growing. So when you have a healthy growing root system, you have a healthy plant, and Tappin'Roots is a great kind of product to really get that going. I use it with a lot of my other fertilizers and especially when I'm propagating. So I'm excited to finally take this out of this little cup. It's a cute mug that I've had for a little while that it's been growing in, and hopefully when I plant this into soil, the roots take, and then I have a bunch more plants growing. I really like these little shallow pots I have for these. I'm gonna have them cascading out. Look, it even has a little Golden Gate Bridge. Yay, San Francisco. But I also got this cool pot that has it's almost like Earl Grey color. I really like it, and I think it's gonna match the plant quite well. So let's see what it turns into. If you're interested in the type of soil I'm using, it's a mixture I made of half organic potting soil and half cactus mix with a little bit of perlite in there too. Has some good water retention and nutrients, but also the drainage that I think this plant needs. And it's honestly the type of soil I use for a lot of my houseplants, and I tend to recommend it pretty often. Well, there you go. Quick and easy. It's in its pot now. I have a good amount of roots on that system, so it's gonna grow in here quite well. I also never like to waste my Tappin'Roots water. If you are using Tappin'Roots to propagate your plants and you're changing out your water quite often, because I do suggest when you are propagating to empty out the water every week to 2 weeks to make sure you clean it out. It really helps the root system kind of grow in nice and healthy. But that's quite nice water to use, so use that to water in your plants or anything else that needs a little bit of a boost, and you're set to go. If you see one of these plants in the store, think about picking it up, and if you're interested in propagating, come talk to anyone at our local nurseries or anything around the city. Look out for some Tappin'Roots because that stuff's awesome, and get cutting.